Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't want to explain it. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Hex. I've got here what I like to call a Cockle Beast. It's my Crystal Beast deck. Hey, give me some FaceTime. Basically, what's up? All right, back down here. if you ever run a Crystal Beast deck, you know how this engine works. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining it. You can just take a look at what the build is. Basic idea is to get Crystal Beast on the field and into the back row. It's a pretty low tier deck, but as you've seen some of the people on this channel, you know, it's kind of to help them get a little more competitive and give them something that they can sometimes win against. Plus, it's a lot of fun. Like, this is a fun deck to play.
Is that Pincer, by the way?
Yeah, know what that?
Yeah.
No, that ain't Pincer. All right.
Okay.
So we start off. I got 3 Sapphire Pegasus. You absolutely have to have 3 of him, and they're cost me way too much goddamn money. 3 Topaz Tiger. I definitely run 3 of him. And then I only have 2 other Crystal Beasts in here. It works. It really works. I have 2 Ruby Carbuncle and 2 Amber Mammoth, and I have considered dropping down to 1 Ruby Carbuncle and going up to 3 Amber Mammoth. It's a side deck thing. You can kind of make up your mind. 2 Effect Veiler because I'm apparently too much of a pussy to run any deck without Effect Veiler. 2 Summoner Monk. I run 17 monsters, 4 traps, and then
spells.
Yeah, 19 spells. So it's a lot. It's an awful lot. It's not 19 actually. It's some lower number. Actually, it might be 19. We'll consider it later. But yeah, Summoner Monk, really good for getting this guy, Sapphire Pegasus, on the field, and in a pinch, one of these 2. But typically, it's Sapphire Pegasus onto the field. You know, I'll have one of these guys, one of the spells in my hands. You know, just dump it out. I run 1 Trag because running 2 is it's dead. I never ever use 2. Period. 1 Malefic Cyber End. I've thought about running more than 1, but I don't know. I think that 1 is good enough. And then 1 Plague Spreader. Obviously, these are the only tuners I have in the deck, and it works. Plus, with Trag, you can sometimes play some cheap tricks and get some tuners. I run 2 Horn of the Phantom Beast. I've considered going up to 3, but typically that also is dead. 2 works out really well for me. So your opponent's attacking into Sapphire Pegasus or Topaz Tiger or Amber Mammoth, and they're like, "Oh, check me out, I'm gonna kill you, shit." And then they die, and I draw a card.
Oh, Topaz Tiger.
Yeah, Topaz Tiger. Then I got 1 Mirror and 1 Torrential, obviously. Ancient City Rainbow Ruins is really like the key card for this deck. If I can't get my hands on one of these things, I'm screwed. I'm not running the Abundance OTK. I'm just running like a flat-out Crystal Beast deck. Like I said, it's just for fun. It doesn't beat like the high-tier shit. But Ancient City Rainbow Ruins, look it up. The effects are amazing. And because I need it so badly, I literally run 2 Terraforming, which is, it would be a problem if I wasn't already running 2 Summoner Monk. A lot of times I really will just dump out a Terraforming. Plus, if I get a couple Rainbow Runes in hand, if I have 4 Crystal Beasts in the back row, I just play another Rainbow Runes top the other, draw another card that turn. It's sweet. Crystal Promise gets me a Crystal Beast from the back row. I've thought about going up to 3 of those, but I think that might be a little overkill. If I did go up to 3, I would drop down to 1 on Crystal Blessing, which gets me up to 2 Crystal Beasts from the graveyard to the back row, which is super helpful. 2 Crystal Release. I didn't run this at first, but it's just too good since I'm running it based on Rainbow Ruins. It ups their attack, and it also helps me to get a Crystal Beast in the back row when it goes. I only run 2 Rare Value. I own 3. I've run 3. I find that 3 is dead, even with Summoner Monk, because you have to have 2 in the back row, and you lose 1 for it. Which, if you're gonna get into Abundance, which I only run 1 of,
you gotta have 4 back.
You gotta have 4 back there. And a lot of the times, if I have 4 back there, I also have Rainbow Runes on the field, and it's just not worth it to run Abundance. I've run Abundance for emergency situations only. Then I guess I could switch these around. Crystal Beacon gets me a Crystal Beast from my deck if I have 2 in the back row. It's okay. Typically, if I have 2 in the back row, I'm already doing well enough that I don't need it. Monster Reborn, Foolish Burial to get Plague Spreader or perhaps something else from the graveyard that I might want a Monster Reborn. 1 MST and Dark Hole. In terms of the extra deck, I run my Roach. Doesn't see a lot of play, but I run him. 2 Utopia. Definitely sees a lot of play. In fact, most of the times what I'll do, Summoner Monk, Peg, stack, after I use pegs to put, you know, any of the others in the back row, and then I have a Utopia there for a little bit of defense, because this deck needs some heavy defense. I mean, I only run 4 traps. The Cyber End, obviously, to remove for the Malefic. Leviathan Dragon, just in case I, for some god unknown reason, have both carbuncles on the field. He would not, I don't think you'd be Leviair in this deck, because, I don't know, I don't remove anything from play, really. Armory Arm, Cat Daddy, Librarian, Brionac, Iron Chain Dragon.
Motherfucker, Iron Chain Dragon.
I know, and Black Rose Dragon. The Landois, because I have a lot of Earth. Stardust Dragon, Thought Ruler Archfiend, just because he's a fun little Jankro to tech in, and then you know, use him to get a little bit of life back if you need it, and then of course Trish Daddy.
Trish Daddy.
I don't have a side deck built up for this, but if I did, there would definitely be a 3rd rare value in it, 3rd Crystal Promise, and maybe a 3rd Terraforming. maybe the 2nd Trag if I found I was playing somebody I really needed it for. Probably a couple D Prisons and Chain Disc just in case I wanted to up the trap numbers. But yeah.
What about only the one Cyber End Dragon and the extra? What if they bounce your Malefic there?
Then I've got a dead Malefic in my hand. Again, I would need to buy another Cyber End Dragon because I currently only own 1. But if I ran 2, I would definitely run 2 in the deck. But I don't think I'd run 1 2. Another card that people like to use with this is Dragon Queen of Tragic Endings. Not a terrible card. I've thought about putting it in. But yeah, so this is my fun Cockle Beasts deck.
Looks pretty good there, Hex. Thanks for the deck profile.
Yeah.
This been the Commander and Hex. Out.